I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with a 3-minute cattle market update for Friday, March the 17th. And this week the big outrage is how the board is not keeping up with cash, and the big disparity between your spot live cattle contracts, which is April, and that's a little bit away, but it's just nowhere near what fats are bringing on a direct cash basis there. The problem that we see is there's no outside money buying the board, no long positions from the funds, your speculators that are not in agriculture. And the thing of that is because Trump, ever since Trump has got in, your stock market has been so good that they're not about to pull their money out of stocks, money markets, things like that, to put it in a commodity that's volatile and not as certain to be on the good side there. So now what we're seeing this week, and just being around people and talking, you hear a lot of that, is cattle people are going to have to buy the board. It looks like a pretty good bet right now. I made the statement yesterday in a report that you can bet on this April horse right as he's on the home stretch, when all the rest of them are just coming out of the gate. I mean, we don't have that far to go, and we're so far behind the money. Why not put some money on him? It looks like he's going to win. It looks like he's going to gain some ground between now and when that April board matures, or not when it matures, until it finally starts to catch up with what fats are bringing, because it doesn't look like we're about to fall out of bed anytime soon. But it's been a while since I've studied commodities, but one of my favorite scenarios there was the Texas hedge. Now that I'm a full-fledged Texan again, I like that. That's when you've got a bunch of cattle in the feedlot and you're buying the board too. So we're going to have to see that. Maybe cattle people's the only ones that's paying attention to that, but we're seeing a lot of cattle people buying calls, buying the board, and trying to take advantage of this big disparity there. But you look at the board, middle of the week, live cattle futures on the April contract. Wednesday was up $1.37, should have been up the limit. Thursday was up $1.50, should have been locked up the limit again. Your April spot live cattle futures now $119.20 with a $132 top on the cash basis. But feeder cattle contracts April there also. Wednesday was up $1.27. Thursday's up $1.85. Your feeder cattle contract is a whole lot stronger and more in line with what's going on than your live cattle contract. And usually feeder cattle is dragging in behind. But your Thursday contracts on feeder cattle closed at $130.55 for the April. But had such a strong showing again, second week in a row. Our fats have been strong for weeks and weeks, but the last 2 weeks especially, with the February contract gone and April offering such a big basis there, you would think that these cattle feeders would just give up real easy, but they haven't been. They've shown how much leverage they've got. They know these packers need cattle. They know we're short of market-ready cattle right now. The box beef cutouts have been on the rise here the last couple of weeks. These packers are making money even though the fat cattle market's higher, and they're keeping the chain speeds up there. So just everything's looking good. But you see on Wednesday had such a big trade. Again, we're going to give the credit to the Fed Cattle Exchange. It gets the trade going every week, and more people need to support that, in my opinion. And it's just it's really a good thing that's getting things going. Negotiated trade is starting to get some love again. Not everybody's just doing a formula deal or a contract deal or I'll promise you all my cattle for a little money under the table deal. No, they're making these packers come in and negotiate and haggle and buy cattle and compete with each other if they want them. And it's a great thing. But you look at the Wednesday trade was huge. It was way up over 90,000. And the 5 areas through Wednesday had 97,400 head after 3 weeks in a row of over 100,000 head in the 5 area feeding region. The weighted averages are almost 129 on a live basis there, over $3.50 higher. Dress basis are over 208. That's just over $7 higher than last week. With the Southern Plains, the bulk of their trade on a live basis from 127 to 128. Northern Plains from 128 all the way up to 132. And those extreme highs are in Iowa, which normally are lagging way behind, but we are really tight of cattle in the Northern Plains right now and will be until we get into May. But the slaughter's been good so far this week, 457,000. That's 3,000 more than last week, 13,000 more than the same week a year ago. As I said, box beef cutout values that were mixed early in the week and then strong middle of the week, and so that's looking good. Your actual weight on the dressed steer for the week ending March the 4th was down 2 pounds, so that shows we're keeping current and we're continuing to get more current all the time. And as good as this market is, these feedlots are going to keep digging out and reaching for cattle and pulling cattle ahead. You look at your feeder cattle markets, middle of the week, OKC West had 12,500 head. Feeder cattle $2 to $4 higher on Wednesday. Calves were mostly steady on Tuesday there. $116,000 raised in fire relief benefits there at OKC West, and that's just a great thing to see. Get in here later part of the week, Thursday, your big Kansas sales, Pratt $2 to $4 higher on a big run of over 6,000 head. Salina near 5,000 head there, $1 to $3 higher on feeders. Look at an individual quote out of Dodge City. Winter livestock there on Wednesday had a load of 836 pound steers, bring 131.10. That's 3 minutes, and we'll talk to you next week.